I think James Bond, the character, is distinct. He's British, he has a certain code that he lives by, he's incorruptible. He's a classical hero, but he's also fallible. He has inner demons, inner conflicts, and he's a romantic. Barbara Broccoli. Greetings, my name is Joseph Yagar. Welcome to another Life in Perspective broadcast. My objective is to provide thought-provoking discussions so you can optimize your perspective on life. In the epic movie Rocky IV, Sylvester Stallone plays an underdog boxer fighting in hostile territory against a mighty Russian Drago who intends to humiliate him. After several rounds of a brutal beating, as he was getting ready for the next round, he yelled, "I see three of them," to which Paulie, his brother-in-law turned cornerman, replied, "Hit the one in the middle." For most moviegoers, it was just a line in the script and something to remember as a tip in case they have to use it themselves in a fight. And for a while, it was for me too. However, after watching the movie several times looking for inspiration when life dished me a beating, a light bulb went off and I saw it as one of the pivotal statements of that movie. And today, I'm here to share why. Before I continue, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so by clicking the subscribe link below. It's free and would be much appreciated. You may also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Think back as early as you can remember, and likely you'll agree that almost nothing that matters to you today mattered back then. If you were curious, you asked why. If you wanted something, you reached for it. You weren't afraid of a hot stove, a bee sting, or a tarantula crawling on your leg. Your personality and character were authentic and bare for the world to see. You had no shame, doubt, second thought. You spoke your mind and loved freely. You were just you, the one in the middle. Then came the rules, the conditions, the prohibitions and inhibitions, questions brushed aside, reprimand without understanding, labels, and apathy. What made you different mattered more than what made you unique, and your flaws more illuminated, while your qualities became a threat. So for you to belong, you invented a double, someone that was less different, more acceptable, and less threatening to the status quo. You created a you too. By the time you get on one knee to propose, well entrenched in your rainmaking role, witness the birth of a child, waist high in parenthood and neck high in political views, you rarely have time to notice the multiple personas you created to fit each occasion. You trek through life, going through the motions, putting out one fire after another, and occasionally lending a punch of your own. And eventually, when you get the chance to sit down, take inventory of the rounds you fought in the ring of life, it's all a blur. You no longer recognize the one in the middle. When Michelangelo was asked how he made the statue of David, he promptly replied, "It's easy. I just chip away at the stone that doesn't look like David." I wonder, why do we spend so much time letting others and our environment chip away at the stone that is us? So much so that who we are in the eyes of the world is not the one in the middle. Our disappointments become our stories, our failures, badges of shame, and our identity, one we don't identify with at all. We prefer to keep our David buried beneath the stone. So here is something you may not be aware of, that most everyone around you is doing the same thing. You walk around a pretender in a sea of pretenders, believing that all eyes are on you, all the while most everyone else believes the same thing. Well, what I'm about to tell you may either come as a disappointment or relief. Everyone is too busy worried about themselves to give you a second thought. Do you honestly believe that all the people you randomly cross paths with even remember you, let alone think about you? Who do you remember from today that you did not meet with deliberately? Would you say they were a blur? Let me ask you, do you want to show up as a reflection of your insecurities and fears and the way you believe everyone else wants and expects to see you? It's absurd for you to presume that you even know what that is, can control it, or that others give a hoot. They don't. Yet you egotistically torture yourself at the notion and let yourself be ruled by it. Wouldn't you rather show up as your David, the colossal miracle of a figure that you are, standing tall, proud, and worthy of admiration because there is only one of you and there will never be another? Do you want to have the courage to take risks, go after what you want, need not external validation, learn from and embrace your failures without shame, and pay them forward? Do you want to live a blur of multiple identities? Or be the one in the middle? Please let me know what topics you would like my perspective on in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.